I'm Theresa Wise. I'm the Chief Executive of the Royal Television Society, and the RTS has been going for nearly 100 years. And we are an educational charity that promotes the arts and science of television. So what are we seeing at the moment in television sector? I think the key things is that we've had a challenging couple of years. It's a very burgeoning sector, so it has fundamentally good growth, but it also has cycles. So the last 2 years have been very volatile for various reasons. So coming out of COVID, there was a massive expanse of production. Then there were some Hollywood strikes, which then meant that there was a huge drop in production globally. And that obviously affected the UK as well, because there are a lot of productions that shoot in the UK. So we've gone from perhaps a land of plenty to a bit more a feast and famine scenario. So there was, and added to that, there'd been a huge growth in advertising during COVID, ironically, and post-COVID, and then a cost of living crisis, partly fueled by the Ukrainian war and other effects post-COVID, then actually meant that people were drawing in their spending, and then the advertising market responded accordingly. So having gone from a huge expanse scenario, then there was the volatility of some reining back. And so it's that volatility that's been, that a lot of organisations have found challenging to cope with. There are now some green shoots that production is coming back on track, which is great news. And the advertising comparables compared to last year are also good. So we've got a few things that are re-emerging, but I think anyone would say that the last couple of years have been tough to manage. So the biggest technology disruptor has got to be generative AI, and it's got lots of effects already, but most people, I think, would say it's very early days, and they'd be right. So we've seen some early effects of people being very alarmed, very understandably, about job substitution, about deep fakes, about misinformation. So there are lots of things. Some of them are AI related, some of them are just general web trends. So there's quite a lot of concern. At the same time, there's areas where AI can provide a great deal of productivity and quality improvement. So there's some definite production advantages, but I think we're yet to see some of these applications and uses of AI really mature into something that we can put a finger on. So I think unlike some other tech trends which have come and gone a little bit without trace, I think AI is here to stay, will be the fabric of industry and society. But it's probably too early to say what those exact things are. But everyone's keeping a watching brief. So everyone from regulators, lawyers, business people, the tech industry, is looking and there's an awful lot of investment going in. So there are a number of big challenges in the sector. Some of it is that it's a freelance dominated sector, and when you have a freelance community, the volatility of work is very, very problematic, because it means that some people can't earn a living for parts of the year, or indeed need to think about exiting the industry and do something else. So how do you keep developing a freelance work base is a big challenge, and how the industry addresses that. Other areas of challenge, but actually some quite good signs of positive development, are what people are doing about sustainability in the industry. So there's some amazing technologies and practices coming up which are really addressing some of the sustainability issues. And there's some really intriguing tech, some of which we might well see at IBC, that's looking to perhaps reduce the number of people and kit that needs to be shipped all over the world, or indeed reduce energy usage in other respects. So exciting developments there. And in order to, we're trying to play a part as the RTS actually in training our next generation of leaders, in launching some training in the form of an RTS mini MBA in television and streaming media. So what we're looking to do is to skill up people, both freelancers and people within organizations, in the business context of our industry. It's very easy to work in a specialist area and get very good at it, but sometimes one needs to broaden in order to develop. So there are a few things that are going on in the industry to look at how we address, it might not be skills shortage as much as people being able to do the relevant things at the right time. So in some areas there are shortages, in some areas there are surpluses at the moment. But the important thing is that we support our talent all the way through and give them the right skills to be able to work and be productive. So the RTS does a few things, we hope, to address precisely that, although nothing works unless the whole industry is involved. So one of the things we do to try and widen participation in our industry is we've just celebrated the decade of a bursary scheme that we launched. His Majesty launched it, King Charles III, in 2013. So it's a scheme that is aimed at young people in further education with an interest in entering the television and streaming media industry. And we provide a cash grant every year, and we provide mentoring and masterclasses and so forth. And we've had 82% of our graduates are working in the industry. So we're really proud of that. And that is really looking to how do we get a better representation of society working in our industry. We also run, as an educational charity, we run lots and lots of charitable events and subsidised events aimed at people from different areas and stages in their careers. So we run RTS Futures, which is looking at how do you get in and get on in the industry, so very practical things there. We run lots of events which are behind the scenes about a particular show so that people can get an understanding of that. We have student awards which are aimed at student films and recognise some of that young talent as well. So, and then we provide lots and lots of our materials online and free of charge and so forth, so that anyone that wants to look at those after the event can so do. And there are also lots of other organisations that provide training and opportunities to learn and develop. So those in some ways, I hope, address some of it, but it is down to individuals, and that's not always easy. So it would be glib to suggest anything else. So we're very excited because this IBC, we are launching the RTS Mini MBA in television and streaming media. I shall be doing a session with Evan Shapiro, and he will be talking about the UK media multiverse and doing one of his incomparable cartography exercises to show the sizes and strengths of different players in the market. Then Evan and I will be talking business. So we'll be talking about what we're planning to do to introduce to the industry in terms of skilling up in the business of the sector. So that we're super excited about that. It's a real sort of pivot for us, but it's also very much to our educational objectives. We're also looking forward after IBC to our RTS London convention, which this year is sponsored by Netflix, and Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, is our international keynote there, and there'll be other luminaries speaking. And then we've got an autumn slate of very exciting events, including our Craft and Design Awards to round off the year.